Striking a balance between the ideology of Ananda Marg and the world outside is a challenge, and that many spiritual seekers face, and that's what we're facing. And there is no one definite answer to this question, as different people may have different ways of integrating their spiritual and worldly lives. So, thank you very much, Haran Dada. If you can start, please. Thank you.
Am
Yes.
I audible now?
Yes, Sada,
Yes,
very much.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
So once we get at the basics of the problem, we'll try to understand the whole problem in its wider perspective. The root of the problem lies in the basic difference between human beings. Chapter 5 of Anand Sutram, which talks about the proudest sutras, the aphorism 8, Sutra 8, you know, it has been laid down very clearly. Vachitrayam prakrit dharma samanam na bhavishyati. You know, so the difference between individuals has to be accepted, and that there lies the fundamental change and the fundamental challenge also, because we have to accept that even our children are different from others. The genetic, the DNA footprint, everybody has an individual footprint as far as the DNA part is concerned. So that difference will always be there. That has to be respected. So difference has to be respected. This is what is very important. Now, the balance, as the topic suggests, between Anand Marg ideology and the outside world. Now, let's quickly see both. The outside world, as we can appreciate, is totally materialistic, based on a capitalistic framework of thinking. This materialistic society is again based on consumerism, opportunism, self-centered approach, and it does not generally believe in genuine philanthropy. It believes that in the philosophy of Adam Smith, that every individual should grow independently and there should not be any interference. But when we talk about collective interest, the problem starts. So the outside world is a materialistic, capitalistic, individualistic, self-centered, and I should say need-oriented and greed-oriented society. Now, the ideology, as Rajendra Dada rightly pointed out, is based on certain norms, practices, and laid down systems. When we talk about Yamaniyam 16 points, we are defining the parameters of the practical aspects of Anand Marga ideology. How we are supposed to live our lives. When we start with Panchanya and the whole process, the diurnal process and the nocturnal process, the 24-hour schedules as laid down by Sri P.R. Sarkar. So we have certain fixed parameters within which we are supposed to operate as Anand Margis. Then ideological aspects are there. We do not believe in caste. We believe in one caste, that is humanity. We do not believe in dogmas, that is, we question by our rationality all the belief systems that have been handed over to us in the form of cultural legacy. So the thinking of a true Anand Margi who believes with conviction in Anand Marg ideology basically differs from the outside world, and the outside world may be within our family also. When we talk about the outside world, it is a world outside the private space of the individual. It could be family space, it could be social space, and it could be public space, which is open to all, one and all. So private space, one can guard and take care. But even in interactions with family, other family members and extended family members, groups, other organizational groups, and the bigger society, this problem of striking a balance starts taking its shape. Now, in different discourses, what I could fathom, Sri Shanmurti ji has tried to explain the problem. He talks about three major factors which create this problem. First, in a discourse given in probably in 1969, more than 53 years ago, he talks about individual rhythm and universal rhythm. That's a very important discourse to understand this problem of objective adjustment. Now let's try to understand this. He says that universal rhythm created by the mother nature, by the founder of this cosmos, we may call him God, by whichever name we would like to call him. Now, the universe has its own rhythm, its own, way of moving, and everything is moving in the universe. That's known to everybody. That has been accepted as an axiomatic truth by science. So this is cosmic rhythm. Now, individual rhythm is again vibrational, and any uncongenial environment causes problems of adjustment. I'm quoting the words of Sri P.R. Sarkar from other discourse, Aspects of Devotional Sentiment and Neo-Humanism. So all these ideas are spread around different discourses. Now, he says that individual rhythm is the collective rhythm of the individual, of body, mind, and soul. So body, mind, and soul, all the rhythms combined together is the individual rhythm. Now he says, if there is no harmony between the individual rhythm and the universal rhythm, the problem starts within the individual himself or herself. The conflict starts within, and then it moves on to outside areas. So first he says, how do we bridge this in individual rhythm with universal rhythm? He says there is another incantative rhythm. He says that it is only through practice of meditation, ideation, sadhana, that the individual rhythm wavelength will fall in the line of cosmic or universal rhythm. So the sadhak starts enjoying the harmony. Otherwise, the conflict starts within. As we have seen, many of us might have seen that there is conflict within the mind also about so many aspects of life. So this is the problem of rhythm. Now, when we come to society and ourselves, the individual and the society has a different rhythm, because society is unaware of the parallelism between entitative rhythm and universal rhythm. That is, the bridge is missing in the general society. The bridge of incantative rhythm is missing. So individual rhythm does not know how to cross the river on the other side. That bridge is not there. So the problem starts. Now, every rhythmic movement is vibrational, as it has been clarified by science also. It is like the movement of a heart, systolic and diastolic. So heart also, when it pumps out blood, it, the pressure goes up, as we know. And then when the right ventricle accepts blood which has less oxygen, right ventricle accepts it, the balloon starts getting filled with blood. So there, घड़ा को जब भरना होता है पानी से, किसी भी चीज से, तो थोड़ा वक्त लगता है. So slowly the blood fills in the right ventricle of heart. So there is a pause. It's an overlapping pause between systole and diastole. Now this I am trying to explain because pause is a very important thing in life, and lack of pause is creating so many problems. And when I talk of problems, I am definitely talking about the topic that we have taken up today. Where is the problem? It has been clarified in another discourse that it is only during pause that the mind assimilates the idea, that the mind here listens to the, like the art of listening is the art of pausing the mind to accept, hear and accept, assimilate and contemplate about the ideas which we are listening to. So, and then when we speak, we move into action. We pump out the blood. So the heart, the rhythmic movement start. Now, what is the problem? Again, we are stuck up in this whole issue of rhythm. If we don't take a pause, like the heart takes an overlapping pause between systole and diastole, especially when it opens up to accept the blood, it takes a few seconds. Similarly, the mind has to take a pause. The problem with the outside world, now let's connect it. The problem with the outside world is that the present materialistic world does not believe in psychic pauses. It rushes from one ambition to another, from one idea to other, one goal to other. You talk to a 10-year-old child. In the morning, he or she will say, I want to become an astronaut. After listening to some good music of A.R. Rahman, he or she will say, I want to become a musician. And in the evening, when a good doctor he or she meets, he or she wants to become a doctor. So goals are changing so frequently, there is no time to pause. So unless the pause is there, good ideas cannot be assimilated. Now the problem with Anand Marga is that they believe in pauses because it is only during those moments of pauses, listening, reading to the discourses, patiently over a period of time, that they have assimilated these new ideas. That is the ideology of Anand Marga. So assimilation has taken a lot many time. We have taken a lot years and years to assimilate the ideas of Shri Anmurti ji. Now, when we try to explain it to the outside world, they don't have the grammar of pause. Pause is like a grammar. It defines that you stay here. Like it has been clarified in another discourse that while you are running, you cannot solve a basic, question of mathematics. Baba has given this example that even if you say itna multiplied by this much, you cannot, multiply it if you are running at a very high speed. So pause is not there. So this rhythm is related to pause. The outside world, especially the younger generation, does not want to pause for anything. They don't have time, they don't have patience, they have too many ambitions, too many dreams, too many ideas. They are not able to assimilate. Now, this is the first thing. Second problem that we are facing in objective adjustment is that of speed. This also has been highlighted in one of the discourses. Now, speed, what is this speed? Once we get rid of the baggage of old belief systems, ideas, we travel light. They say eat light, travel light. Now, what happens to a true Anand Margi? He has shed off the old belief system like a snake sloughing off the old skin. So once we have shed off the old ideas ke bargat ke ped ke niche bhoot rehta hai, we believe that it is outright nonsense, it cannot become a truth, then we have less burden in our psyche, in our minds. So our speed increases. Our speed of accepting new ideas increases because the traditional forms of rituals and religion, which have inculcated fear and doubt in our minds, is not there. We have a free mind for free thinking. So we accept new ideas. Now, what happens with the outside society? Even in the family, if the boy or girl or other member is not fully aware of these scientific things, what happens? They carry old beliefs from childhood days. mothers, they inject those beliefs, grandmothers inject those beliefs, and the child, when he grows, say, while he's crossing the teenage, or he's in the he or she is between 13 and 19, they are totally perplexed. So many ideas have been injected into the minds of these young teenagers, that they are perplexed. Once you then you throw a new idea, of yam and niyam, supreme command, so they get confused. You tell them you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They say, no, sorry, it's not possible. I cannot get up. So the problem is that the speed of a normal Anand Margi is higher than that of the outside world. I'm talking of the psychic speed. The physical speed of the material world is more than our physical speed. Definitely it could be more, or it could be same. But the psychic speed of a true Anand Margi who believes with conviction in ideology is different. So again, is problem of rhythm comes, problem of speed comes. Now the next problem is another serious problem. What is that problem? It is again explained in one of the discourses. She P.R. Sarkar says that what is the result of all this? We have become self-centered. Self-centeredness means what? We are trying to massage our petty egos. Petty egos, you know. So ultimately he says, as long as the small I is not in line, is not surrendered before the big I, nothing is going to happen. So now the problem here is very complex, because we as human beings try to take heuristic shortcuts, as they say. You know, we don't try to rationalize. When Baba talks about the rule of rationality, and he says that the rule of rationality must prevail, it's a very important thing that he says. We take, heuristic shortcuts. We jump to judgments. We believe in mythology because it's very interesting that, Ravan has 10 heads. Nobody has seen any person with 10 heads in this world, at least not so far in the records of human history.
See
So
that
we
you
believe in
conclude, brother.
mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm concluding. So this problem of short circuiting the root of rationality again is a problem. Younger generation takes decisions based on their old belief systems. They do not believe in pauses. They have a different kind of speed. And सबसे बड़ी बात यह है, the biggest factor is that, decisions are not based on rationality. They are rational. Once it comes to their subjects, syllabus, studies, future, career planning, they are very rational. But once they switch over to other area of psycho-spiritual development or spiritual development, the whole thing gets short-circuited. Because it's very easy to go and, go before a Shani temple and do namaskar and feel that God is happy. It's very easy. And it's very difficult to sit in Padmasan for half an hour and go through the rigorous process of ideation, meditation. So everybody tends to take a shortcut. So all these problems compounded together have kept the Anand Margi in a different corner, and the society is moving in a different corner. Speed problems are there, lack of pause is there, lack of contemplation is there, and rationality has become a big casualty in our society. That we can see in every domain. That now behavior, even as taking a small example, behavioral economics, it talks that the economic decisions are taken by, are taken in a behavioral fashion. Nobody rationalizes. And that's why the nudge theory, the economist who gave the nudge theory was given the Nobel Prize also. We know that. So all these taken together have created a mess of things, and there are ways to get out of it. For the time being, I must stop here. Sorry for taking a bit of time.
No, thank you, Nanda. But you were on the very important points. Starting from the one point, I would like to repeat that we should learn to respect others. Then only we can enter their heart. practical aspects of it. Yes, can I request Madhusudanji to speak something? Madhusudanji, Dada, are you hearing me? Please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well. Thank you, Dada.
Let's go. That's a very hard discourse to follow, but I will make an attempt. First, I would like to say that I think the topic is wrong. When we say outside world, there's no outside world. Everything is in the mind of Parama Purusha. So what is outside?
We are understanding what we are saying.
No, but it's important. It is important because Margis have this attitude. We have this attitude that we have our practice, we have our society, we have our organization, we have all the things we do together, and then there's everybody else. And that's the problem we have. And the problem is, how do we integrate our spiritual practices into the world? And I think I've been doing this, for maybe 40 years or so. I've owned businesses. I've employed 50 people. I've been in politics. I've been elected to positions. I get involved in, I'm very much involved in Rotary organization. I deal with a lot of people who don't know anything about Ananda Marga and are very far from our ideology, actually. But what I feel is important is, first thing is, we have to be true to our ideology all the time. It doesn't mean that we're going to impose our belief on anybody else. We don't do that. Baba's, in a nutshell, Baba said, Atma mokshartam jagatitaicha. Means we're to do our spiritual practices for ourselves, the ideologies for our personal development, and for the rest of the world, we're supposed to do service. What does that mean? It means we understand from Proud how much pain is there in the world, and we should feel suffering ourselves when we see people suffering due to the impositions of the defective social environment, defective economic system. A lot of defects out there. Many people are suffering due to that. And our job when we do service is to help remove the pain that people are feeling due to that defect. Maybe physical pain, maybe psychic pain, spiritual pain. There's all kinds of pain that people are feeling. And when we deal with the society, our job is just to remove that pain. It doesn't mean that we accept them if they're vegetarian, or we accept them if they're following Ananda Marga, or if they're doing meditation. It means we accept them as human beings because of their existential value. We accept everybody, and we try to remove the pain from everybody. Whereas it feels comfortable to be among Margis when we go to Dharma Chakra and we go to social functions or we go to big events. It feels comfortable to be among people that think like us and act like us and follow the same path. And we need that because the path that Baba gave us is not easy. It's not an easy one. And we're there to support each other so that we can be all move ahead on our spiritual path. But we should also go out and help other people. It's part of our sadhana. Being in the world, living in this material world, adjusting and living somehow with all these defects in society, that's part of our sadhana. And how do we solve the problems of the world? Not only do we do service to people, not only do we try to remove their pain, but we try to remove those defects through Proud. Now, we won't establish Proud overnight, but as I found through my experience with different people, there are ways to inject our ideas into daily conversation. And I've even had an impact where having some ideas of Baba actually injected into the political arena, and other people are following because they thought they were good ideas. We don't just say, oh, this is from Sri Sri Anandamurti, we just You just say, this is a good idea. Why don't we do that? And people say, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Because our perspective, because we're coming from a perspective of our sadhana, and we look at the world in a different way than other people do, we will see things that other people don't see. And when you bring those things up, when people are having a discussion, they say, oh, that's interesting. And they recognize there's something different. You don't have to go saying, oh, this is based on Prout. We don't have to be giving our philosophy. There's a place for that. But there's also a place where we have to keep to our spiritual practice and inject what we learn from that into the world that we live in. And I think I'll stop at that. Namaskar.
Thank you, Madhusudhan Dada. Being a practical man, because we know that you have hold many positions, even in politics, as you already told, then you might have a better experience than how being a Magi, getting in mingled, go along with others so coherently. So that is why we requested you, because your experience is very fruitful. Can I ask Poonam Kumari Didi to speak on this subject, or any Didi? Poonam Didi, are you hearing me? Are you in position to talk anything on the subject?
Namaskar, Dada.
Namaskar, Didi.
For me, my family was an external world. For more than 10 years, I struggled for that things.
Practical,
So,
exactly.
so I have many experience. Earlier, I do not know what worship they are doing, because I am from Margi family. How they worship their gods and how many gods they have. These all were very big questions for me. It was very difficult for me to understand and to adjust. But slowly, I tried to understand those people, what they are doing. What we are doing, I was aware very much. But what they are doing, it was also a very big question. We should know that also. Then only we can and guide them what they are doing, what they understand, what their feelings are. We are reluctant to our feelings and we are not interested in what others are doing. So sometimes we become isolated. These are my experiences on personal level, and I think the same thing happens when we move to outside world. So if we want to do better in our life and to propagate our spiritual values in others, first of all, we will have to do sadhana at personal level, social work at in the outside world, and we will have to understand their needs. Not we can impose our thinkings to others, but rather we should think what their needs are really, and they are facing, I think they are really facing problems. They do not know what spiritual values are. That's why they are doing the different things. So they are already facing problems, and we will make a big wall between them and us. Then it will be our fault. It will be our default point. So if you want to do something for them or for us also, because if the support, if environment is conducive for us, then only we will be able to do our sadhana, our development also. For that, we should make a good environment inside, outside, in neighbors, and the whole world. But start from yourself, your neighbors. If your environment near you is very much good, then it will be helpful for your personal development also. This is my experience, the personal experience. Thank you so much. Dada, you are muted.
I'm sorry, really.
Rajendra.
Yeah, Didi, sorry. Margavi Didi, are you in position to speak on the subject? Because you have seen both world, outside and inside. Margavi Didi, are you hearing me?
Namaskara, Dada.
Namaskar, Didi.
If my daughter let me, so if she lets me, I will speak, Dada.
Okay. No
Sure.
problem, Didi. That's fine. Okay, whenever you...
Dada,
Yeah.
My point of view is like without means just now Madhusudan Dada told about the people are in pain. We need to remove the pain from others. Like, they have not seen what we have seen. But we thought it's little bit difficult. Difficult. It's not a difficult. It is. We need to overcome from the that what kind of thing is like, if we go and help the people and we cannot expect anything from them, and we cannot expect anything like they have to good thing for us back or anything. So bad thing also we need to able to uh, solve the things like those things, like, how to convey that for you. I'm uh, it's for example, like, a sadhu, he's trying to help the crab. It's going to die, and sadhu is trying to get out from, like, he's saving the crab, but again once he's saved, the crab will again come and it will bite the sadhu only. So that's the example which I wanted to tell you. Without expectation, we need to serve the society.
Very good point.
Yeah, that point I hope you have understood. So you just elaborate on that point and you can explain me better. Like, yeah, Dada.
Yeah, it's a kind of
Thank you.
selfless service, and that is what Baba is called service. Rest is business.
Yes, Dada. That's my point, Dada. Thank you.
Thank you, Didi, for you spoke. At least I am seeing after many months, first time you spoke. Can I request Acharya Vimlanand Dadaji to speak on the subject, and then Dada Satyasharananji, we would listen to them also. What is
I
their
will
view?
be I will be delayed maybe after 10 minutes.
Okay, Dada, thank you very much. Dada Satyasharananji, would you like to speak something on the subject? Satyasharan Dada, yeah, thank you.
नमस्कार दादाजी बाबा नाम केवलम
Namaskar, Baba Naam Kevalam.
namaskar to all the participants. Already we heard our respected Haranand Dadaji, Poonam Didi, Madhusudan ji. The today subject is how to strike a balance between Ananda Marga ideology and the world outside. So very intelligently Madhusudan ji told that nothing is outside. It is within Param Purusha, everything is going on. But here the moderator fixed the subject. When Ananda Marga is, those who are following some cult, some ideology, and when they are going outside of that particular comfort zone, then they feel uncomfortable things. Here question, the subject demands is how we make a balance. See, making balance with sad or ashad, making balance with vidya and avidya, making balance with crude and subtle. It's a big task. It's not possible. Suppose it's a very practical thing that we, as a Anand Margi, we are away from the smoking, liquors, the non-vegetarian foods, and when we are traveling हेलो हेलो
Yes, Dada, you are audible. बोलिए दादा. सुनाई
when we
दे
are
रहा है दादा.
traveling and when we are traveling we are facing the problem in office. Suppose we are in office and the officers and the office people, they are smoking. We feel in physical level, we feel uncomfortable. It's very difficult to make a balance. There we lose our patience even sometimes, and we tell what things you are doing. Stop it. And everyone have a ego. The person who is engaged in a wrong deeds, they have also make a comfort zone. They have also make a logic to save ourselves, to convince ourselves. So making a balance between the ideology of Ananda Marga and with outside of society. For that, we must make ourselves broader and broader, bigger and bigger. Because in a starting, we always listen the Tajam Durgan Sansargam, Bhaja Sadhu Samagamam. Always you do the company with a good people. The outside of our organization, outside of Anand Margi family, no doubt there is many persons they are good, but the ideology of Anand Marg, it's a revolution. In physical sphere, you see, when you are visiting outside, their prayer system is different. Your prayer system is different. The Anand Marg is, they are doing a Guru Sakas, they are singing a Prabhat Sangit, they are doing Panchagatra. The outside, some people is singing something, some people is doing something, there is Karma Kanda is going on. So, how to adjust with, how to make a balance with this? So how to make a balance? It's a matter of deep thinking. That adjustment will not possible if you are going to adjust, because see in 16 point there is 4 things: non-compromising strictness, what Ishta, Adarsha, Supreme Command and Conduct Rule. Where there is non-compromising, Panamaniya Manobhav. If you are doing to, you are following this thing strictly, you will not be able to make a balance in society. Suppose this is the month of June, July. Everywhere in India, the marriage program is going on. Others peoples, they are calling you, they are
Yes,
sitting
Dada.
there. They are providing. So our Baba instructed through Charyachar the things, the marriages going against the ideology of Ananda Marg, where people they are taking a dowry, their marriage is in caste, they are supplying the static food, motative food. So if you will be there and if you are going to make a balance with that, there will be big problem. Then you will away from your ideology. So Baba told you go there, simply you go there and do the work according to the demand of the family, and then without taking the food, you come out from there. See, if you will go there and taking without taking the food, you are coming back. Their big problem starts. There will be who's and cries. There these people they came, they don't know, they are unsocial. So these are the practical things. If you are going to follow your ideology strictly, it's difficult to adjust with outside of people. So that this is the question. This is the things that we are not spreading. We are not able to bring the people outside people because we don't want to adjust. An adjustment with this with ideology, it's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
So the question how to make balance between
Yes, sir.
uh,
It's a very
for
decisive
me
question.
for me I'm very sorry to say
Yes.
it's not possible, even though suppose we are in organization
Mm.
and when we feel that things which is going on against the ideology,
Yeah.
we start there will be fight within its start. What is going on? There is many sadhu sannyasi. They told, "आए थे हरिभजन को कुटन लगे कपास." This is the time that the sadhus are talking like that. We came here to do the sadhana, but we are otan lagan kapas. We are collecting the cotton from the trees.
Yeah.
So adjustment, ideological things is going on. If we want to adjust with the outside people of our organization, if you are going for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, no problem.
Yes.
But if you want to mix with, you are going to stay there 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, it's a big problem. So that Baba set up, Baba established the ashram, Baba established the master unit, where our sons and daughters will able to follow. वहीं पर खाइए, हम भी आएंगे. अच्छा,
Thank you, Dada. Yes.
अच्छा, 1 minute, Dada.
Yeah, yeah.
So Baba arranged such a thing that our my sons and daughters, they are able to perform, they follow the things strictly in our places. So adjustment amongst the outside people, making balance.
Yes.
For me, it's a matter of deep thinking, deep discussion.
Yes, Dada.
Because I want to say very straightforwardly, I want to say that when things is going against of ideology, yeah, outside of Ananda Marga, everywhere there is a pratikulata.
Yeah.
It is the demand, it is the psychology of human mind. Anukul Vedaniyam Sukham. Everyone wants a comfort zone. And outside of Ananda Marga, outside the premises of Ananda Marga, there is uncomfortable things is going on. In physical sphere, in psychic sphere, in a spiritual sphere.
Right. Dada.
So it's difficult to adjust. But
Yeah.
here question arises, how will bring a people in our path? For that, we must do the prachar work. But if you are going to stay with them, there is a problem. There must be a problem. I can, no Anand Margi will able to go there and stay in temple, and if they will stay 7 days, and even this is the temple is the place of a spiritual place is there. But if you are going to stay there, the Anand Marg is going to stay there, they feel such an uncomfortable thing. अरे भाई चलो चलो यहाँ से, अरे दिमाग खराब हो रहा है. Why? Because your psychic setup, your mindset is something else.
Yes.
See for others people, the Haridwar, the Rishikesh, the Kasi,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
big thing.
Understood.
But for the Anand Margi, it is nothing. It is birthless.
Yes.
Why will go there? What will do? Because our mindset is with Guru Sakas, with Panchajanya, with sadhana, with a practical things. The outside of people, they are in karmakand, they are in many things is there. On the name of spirituality, there is business. In the name of politics, these people are self-centered people. They are doing the things everywhere. It is an uncomfortable situation. So adjust with this. It's a difficult task, and for that we must. Because the Harananda was talking about the rhythm, the psychic rhythm.
Yes.
So how will maintain the psychic rhythm with the others people? It's a technique, and those who are experienced person, they will share the things. For me, I'm very straightforwardly saying that it's difficult to adjust with outside of Ananda Marga institution places. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, Dada. In this response, I have two things is coming to my mind. That first of all, that adjustment doesn't mean that you compromise with your principles, because you don't follow any principles which will be uncomfortable for others. Rather, others are uncomfortable for you. You are certainly not uncomfortable for others. That is why you have respect also in society. They may not be doing like you, but they respect you because of your very small sacrifices. And second important point, what Harananda was told, had told, and I repeat, that we should have respect the differences. This respect differences doesn't mean that you follow the other side. No, but you should not hate other side. Because never forget that when many of us, when we were not Margis, we were the same lot, not different. So, and they are not at fault. We are fortunate that you have got such atmosphere and we are here at a stage, then our responsibility also increases accordingly to bring others on the path. And that is also दूसरों को सतपथ पर लाना साधना का एक अंग है. तो उसके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, एंड ऑफ कोर्स अनुकूल वेद नियम बाहर नहीं दिखता है, ऑलवेज प्रतिकूल वेद नियम ही दिखता है. दैट इज व्हाई वी फील अनकंफर्टेबल. यस मधुसूदन दा, आई वुड लव टू हियर फ्रॉम यू. थैंक यू.
I just have one brief thing to say.
Yes.
Baba has said that capitalism is in its last stages and it is going to collapse. We don't know when, but Baba said soon. Soon in Baba's terms could mean anything. But we know it's going to happen. And Baba also said that at that time, there's an opportunity to establish Sadvipar Samaj. So are we to think that if we sit in our Jagritis and in our master units and just keep to ourselves, and all of a sudden capitalism collapses, and then we come down out of the mountains to the city and we say, we're here to save you, who's going to listen to us? Rather, we have to be there. We have to be in the society. We have to be recognized already in the community so that when the difficult time comes, we will be recognized. Sadvipars will be recognized by their behavior, by their conduct, by their discipline. Those things that maybe we might be ridiculed for today, when that time comes, we'll be praised for. We just have to be patient. But we also have to be recognized in the community at this time, not at some future time when all of a sudden everybody says, oh yes, we're those moral people. And they say, oh, we're the moral people. Oh yeah, what makes you different from everybody else? Because they haven't had time to see.
Right. Thank you, Madhusudanda. Even Baba has told your statement reminding us that you can propagate ideology with your behavior and sacrifice, and certainly not by tall talks. And some more thing I am remembering that if you have gone through Nagina Dada's book Ananda Katha, there is a story where Nagina Dada has sent his father to Baba, that Baba do something for him. And when ultimately I'll cut short, Baba is saying whatever he is doing, it is okay. So, I mean, I can say that Baba is too rational. It doesn't mean that you compromise with your principles. But if we go through who is our example? Baba is only our example. And there are so many examples. I'll give another example of the recently one of my very good Margi was fighting with a ISKCON person, that ISKCON sannyasi. I mean, I don't know how people come down to the level. I mean, how can you criticize people? We are fortunate that we have got this kind of atmosphere and you have got a certain level. But if you have people who are not following your cult, it doesn't mean that you start abusing, accusing, and putting them down. And that is where we are lacking. That is what, and that is why the youngsters are, somewhere we are not approaching in a proper way. Yes, Dada, I will request, I think 10 minutes is past. Bimalan Dada, are you there? Yes.
Yes, thank you. Namaskar.
Dadaji, please.
I could not hear all, but I heard here and there. That has been quite nice to hear Dada Harananji and also Satya Saranji. Part of that I heard from Satya Saranji also. Very good. I mean, but without wasting time, I have to come to the topic. Baba says non-compromising attitude. Non-compromising attitude does not mean to be unpsychological. Baba says objective adjustment. You have to adjust. And adjustment means that you have to apply your psychological approach. Adjustment means you remain at your own position, but also you accommodate the other's thought. That is being rational. When you are rigid on your own thought and you condemn the other's thought, this is also not Charya Charya. Charya Charya is saying that you respect others' opinions also, respect others' beliefs also. So if you just go and fight like that, it reminds me one of discussions which I was giving in my classes, proud classes, how to know in society who is a Shudra, who is a Kshatriya, who is a Vipra, and who is a Vaishya. How a Vaishya will fight is different. How a Kshatriya fights is different. How a Shudra fights is different. And how a Vipra will fight is different. So, if a Vipra is fighting in his own way, then others will say that, look, he's not fighting. What he's doing. He's a nonsense. He should fight. Kshatriya, he cannot fight like the Kshatriya fighting because he's a Vipra. A Vaishya will not fight the way, Shudra or Kshatriya will fight, or the Vipra will fight. There are 4 classes in society. Actually, there are 5 classes now in society. Sadvipras are also around us, with us, amongst us. So you cannot say that there are only 4 classes. Now there are 5 classes in society. There are also Sadvipras. So how Sadvipras will fight? That is what we are trying to discuss here. How Sadvipras will, establish, their. Just give me a second, please. How Sadvipras will fight, how Sadvipras will establish, their ideological, superiority, or, as you might like to say, is different from, how others are doing. And the difference for us is that Baba has actually given us materials to be Sadvipras. And how Sadvipras are made is clear. There is nothing hidden here. Sadvipras are made by following 60 points. Baba is saying in Charya Charya, those who will follow 16 points, they will be physically fit, they will be mentally strong, spiritually advanced, and socially connected. There are 4 different areas of 16 points. First 4 are different, second 4 set is different, third 4 sets are different. The last 4 is for connectivity with the society, creating collective psychology in the sadhakas. So our topic is that Ananda Marga ideology and how to adjust, and strike a balance between the outer society. Rananji brought a very fundamental point that everything is inside. It's all internal for Parama Purusha. Of course, we are not Parama Purusha, but when we are ideating at Parama Purusha, we are trying to become like Parama Purusha. And with every sadhana, we are becoming little more like Parama Purusha, little more like Parama Purusha, because this is what you are ideating. You are day and night thinking the same thing, and you are doing your Ishta mantra. So Baba has given, for striking the balance, Baba has given the second lesson. Okay. What is the purpose of second lesson? The very purpose of second lesson is to strike a balance between the outer world and the inner world. Okay, for Parama Purusha, everything is inside. But for us individuals, everything is not inside. That we understand. And Mr. A and Mr. B and Mr. C, first person, second person, third persons are different from each other. So naturally, there's a differences outside. And how to adjust with those differences? Actually, in our mind, we have to use the second lesson. When we take the second lesson in true spirit, second lesson is not incantation that you repeat many times like you do Ishta mantra. No. Second lesson is, to rationalize, to try to understand the big picture, and the mystery behind the big picture is that what everything is actually fundamentally the same, only we are different on the surface. Once we understand that spirit, then adjustment becomes easy. I give you simple one example. After my becoming Avadut, within 6 months, Baba posted me outside India. And now since past 40 years, I have been just outside India, where everybody was just in the same kind of culture, consumerism, non-vegetarian food, drinks, and all those things, smoking. Now, thanks God, today there is no smoking. How did I adjust? And not me. There were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Bharatiya Indian sannyasis and also overseas sannyasis. Everybody adjusted and accepted each other. Not because we simply say, no, I'm not going there. No, I have to be there. Parama Purusha is also in the drunkard. And the first batch of Margis, they were all drunkards. Do you know how the Ananda Marga Prachar started in Berlin sector in Germany? It was started in the pub. Everybody drunkard, everybody drinking, going there just for drinking. And the first sannyasis who went there, they would stand in front of the pub entry and give a leaflet in sannyasi dress to everyone. And some of them were thinking, oh, you look very good, I want to embrace, and he was embracing them. He was not running over there. He was not hating them. Baba said, don't hate anyone, right? So we cannot hate them. And do you know how many hundreds of sannyasis were created from Germany and Europe? And when Baba was in jail, they were Western sannyasis who did the self-immolation to release Baba from jail. So we have the history of adjustment and striking balance, and being strict is the key. Strictness does not mean that you run away from somewhere. Strictness does not mean that you hate somebody. No. Baba gives example that you have a pot full of milk, and it's warm, it's ready for change. Either you drink it or make it yogurt, or it will become, by itself, it will be unuseful for you. It will go on by natural process. So then Baba says, you are putting very small quantity of starter, Jordan, in the milk, very small. And you will be arguing, people will say, what happens? Nothing happens, nothing is changing. But what was happening? Over the night, the whole body of milk becomes yogurt. Simply because it is strict. The culture of the yogurt starter is very strong. So it's not even 1% of the whole lot of the milk, but it changes everything because it is strict on its own position and it is in the middle of everyone. It's not running away from it. I was flying in a Japan Airlines flight. That was way back in 1981, and it was coming to New Delhi. And when the food was being served, I had ordered my own food, and they did not have. So I went without food for some time, and then finally they brought me a very big platter of fruits and cheese, and I was eating there. So an old man from the other side of the window, the opposite window, he was looking at me from there all the time. So when everything was done, this gentle old man, he came to me. He said, "Can I sit with you?" I said, "Yes." They said, "Please sit down." He said, "I want to know your background, young man." I was civil dress because those days traveling in uniform was very dangerous. I was deported 3-4 times already. I was deported from London. I was deported from Hong Kong. I was deported from Bangkok. And so many troubles. I was deported from Taiwan. I was deported from Japan, from so many places. So we have to, Baba said, go in civil dress. I said, "Okay, Baba, I will travel in civil dress." Anyways, so this man, he said, "Who are you? I want to know." I said, "Why, sir? What's the problem? Is there anything wrong with me?" He said, "No, I'm watching you. I'm old man." I says, and still I cannot resist my desire for eating tasty food. And here I see from watching you from there. First, you did not eat any food, and then later you were, given, apples and oranges and banana and grapes and some cheese, and you are so happy with that. I want to know who you are. I said, "I'm a monk of Ananda Marga." So, "Oh, Ananda Marga. Oh, I see. But why Indira Gandhi banned you?" I said, "We cannot discuss that, please. So you're elderly person, May I know who you are, sir?" He said, "I'm a dean of Sanskrit department in Banaras Hindu University." And I said, "I have to learn from you many things." He said, "No, you have already taught me many things. What I can teach you?" So many things you do without saying, you maintain your, principles, values, but be in the middle of society with your own differences, but be human, neo-humanistic, and the cosmic mind will do the magic. Cosmic mind does the magic. Today, the whole world is going vegetarian. Today, the whole world has gone non-smoking. Today, the whole world has gone the way Anand Marga was suggesting. So not because we ran away from there. So mentally, there's some torture, there's some clash, but through our sadhana, through our asanas, through our own, strictness towards our personal, life, we can, and we do, and we did change the world silently. It's not that I went to change the world, but yes, Baba's Sankalpa had changed the world. Baba's Sankalpa had changed me. Baba's Sankalpa has changed scores and scores of young people from Europe who became sannyasis, who did self-immolation, who did so much sacrifices. It's our own Sankalpa. We have to carry Baba's Sankalpa in our mind and be in the middle of society. In my proud classes, I have told people, psychology of Sadvipra, Sadvipra ki manasikta. Sadvipra ki manasikta kya hoti hai? What is the psychology? What is the mental attitude of Sadvipra? Is, to stay connected with society, to don't run away from society. And here we see some situation that Margis disconnect themselves from the society. We denounce the society. We say, these are very low people. They are Sudras and they will be going in the hell in the next life. Okay, mentally you may think like that, but don't speak it out. You're doing more harm. You're not following Charya Charya. Because Baba says, don't do all those things. In Charya Charya, Baba says, respect all religions, respect all beliefs. And if somebody has bad habits, okay, approach humanly, love each other. When we go to do, relief work, we are not saying that we will not do relief to the Muslim people. No, we're not saying that we will not, help the Christian people. No, outside India, all the relief work has been done only to non-Hindus and non-Anand Margis. Our relief work is for everyone. And in that process, many of them become Anand Margis, many of them become our volunteers, and many of them appreciate. And today, America accepts us as a religion. There's a new religion. Canada, England, France, all countries they accept us. So the trick is in the every Ananda Margi, as Baba says, to bring others to the path of righteousness is a part of a sadhana. If we are not doing that, perhaps our sadhana is ekangi. साधना का अंग है, जिस अंग को अगर हम नहीं रख रहे हैं साथ में, तो all these things go together in my mind, and this is my take on this: how to strike balance with the outer world, with my principles, and maintaining non-compromising attitude. It has worked for me so far everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. You rightly said that we need to have a psychological approach, and that is very key point to change the society or compromise or say adjust with society. Anybody else? If not, then I would like to take 5 minutes. Just a minute, please. Nowadays AI has become very famous. So I asked AI the same question in the daytime. And he told me that however some possible suggestions are there, and what suggestions it gave means even the AI know Ananda Marga. That was very surprising for me. He told me to establish harmony between the spiritual and material world, Ananda Marga advocates a balance between the internal and external aspects of life. This means that one should not neglect one's spiritual duties and practices such as meditation, service, morality, etc., but also not ignoring one's worldly responsibilities and needs such as family, work, health, society. One should try to find the middle path that allows one to fulfill both aspects of life in a harmonious way. The second question was, one should also remember that the goal of Anand Marg is self-realization and service to humanity. This means that one should not only seek personal liberation and bliss, but also contribute to the welfare of others and the society at large. One should use one's talent and abilities to serve others in whatever way one can, and also spread the message of Anand Marga to those who are interested. One should also be compassionate and respectful towards all living beings as they are all part of the Supreme Being. Then it says one should also try to see everything in the world as the manifestation of the Supreme Being. See the second lesson. And not get attached to the repelled by anything. As Ananda Marga teaches, God is one and the universe is his creation. Everything in the universe is a transformation of his cosmic mind and therefore has some value and purpose. One should try to appreciate the beauty and diversity of his creation and not be swayed by the illusion of duality and multiplicity. One should also try to overcome one's ego and selfishness and realize that one is not separate from God or his creation, but rather the part of it. The last stanza is very important. One should also seek guidance from the teaching and examples of Prabhat Ranjan Sarkar, also known as Sri Sri Anandamurti, the founder and the guru of Ananda Marga. He was a person who lived a balanced life of spirituality and social service and inspired millions of people with his wisdom and compassion. He also faced many challenges and hardship in his life, such as persecution, imprisonment, assassination attempt, etc., but never gave up his mission or his faith. He was a source of strength and inspiration for his followers and also a model of how to live a spiritual life in the modern world. So thank you very much.
So this is artificial intelligence response to your question.
Chat GPT, rather Bing.
Great,
Artificial
wonderful,
intelligence answer to the
thank
same
you,
question.
thank you. Good.
It was very interesting for me when I think it has given many things. So thank you very much. Anybody
So
else?
I think you should. I will suggest you should share it in our
I'll
group.
share.
And so yes, please. Okay, thank you.
I thought
Haranand Dada wants to say something. Haranand ji, please.
Just 1 minute I will take.
Nanda, your voice is a bit low. Please.
A bit low.
Yeah, now it's okay. Yes.
Okay. Actually, I was very attentively listening to everyone, including respected Vimlan Dada. He presented the whole picture in such a rationalistic way that I was reminded of one song of Prabhat Sangeet, which sums up this theme in a very compact manner. 4468. Now,
Yeah.
4468 says Baba has word used as a poet two very key words there. He says that devotee is saying this thing, that I have Brahma in my pratyay. It means I have balance in my conviction. Now his one is balanced conviction to what it was basically being referred to by our respected Vimlanand Dada. Balance in conviction. One, like a tree facing a storm, that tree does not change its leaves or branches, but it faces a storm. It stays where it has stayed with its roots intact, leaves intact, fruits intact. One or two fruits may go away, but the tree remains with its bunch of fruits and the storm passes through. So we should learn from. Secondly, he says, Priti Pratiti, feelings of love. Now, let me again repeat. I was hearing Vimran Dada's words, Neo Humanism, Baba says, is the cult of love. When we talk of love, Pratiti, as said in 4468, when we talk of love in our philosophy, neo humanistic philosophy, and when we love all the creatures of the world, there is no reason to detest or hate or have any venomous attitude towards any person or ideology. And lastly, I will say Baba has demonstrated it while talking about metamorphosed pseudo-sentimental strategy. When he talks about the volte-face made by a great leader of this country, he does not name the leader, but every person understands who was the person who first opposed the partition of India and said that the India will be partitioned over my dead body. And then subsequently, he said that, it was let us accept it as a fait accompli. And then he moved around to various places like Noakhali and all to, console people. So, but he does not name that person. Anybody can understand who that great person was. So this is the beauty. He criticizes the approach, but not the person. So when we must always remember that if we have love in our heart, if we have compassion in our heart, if we have balance in our conviction, what Vimlanand Dada was telling, we are going to really tell the world that, look, I am like this. If you like me, accept me. If you don't like me, reject me. But I have no compunction. I'll be like this, like a tree which faces the storm. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dada. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dada.
And
1 minute, I want to say something.
yes, Dada, you conclude. Thank you.
As a Anand Margi, or we are following the Anand Marga ideology.
Yeah.
No one have a right to hate anyone, but we must be strict with the guidance of Baba.
Yeah.
But when we are talking about Taj Durjan Sansargam, it doesn't mean that we are hating. Taj Durjan Sansargam, it doesn't mean that we are hating. It doesn't mean that we have no love for them. If we'll not away from that type of people, we lose ourselves, we fail to follow the things which we want to enjoy, we want to achieve. So I listen Dada, Bhimlanand Dada also, Haranand Dada is also, and both are giving the example. These are things, it's good. But we must keep in our mind Taj Durjan Sanskam it's a very, very important thing. If will not attached with this, there will be big problem in our life. And so that, uh, see, there are many things after 20 years, after 30 years, after 40 years, the people who are going away from the ideology. What is the reason? The reason is that they change, they are failed to keep away from that bad company. So here, whatever I spoke, it doesn't mean no one have right to hate anything, but
Yeah,
we
that is
must know
understood.
the character. That we must know the character of the particular things, and according to that, will we have. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dada. Thank you, Dada.
Da-
And I think I should remind one more personality like Nagina Dada. I think most of us knowing from his story itself that they were the smokers, they were the non-vegetarians. You just think of Baba, how tolerated them to correct them so long, And we are, I mean, we don't have patience to correct others. So we should learn from Baba, and that is what we should. Nobody
Rajendra
other,
Dada,
no one else is ideal. Yes,
Rajendra
Dada.
Dada,
Yes, Dada.
we are a human being. No
Yeah.
one is Baba here.
Yeah. But we
See,
should
what?
follow him, no? With every day, we
Yes,
should
Dada
go
Rajendra
closer
Dada.
to him.
One minute.
Yes.
Baba was there at Varanasi for DMC,
Yeah.
and the organizer arranged a nice hotel.
Yeah, that I'm understanding. Baba refused to stay there, Dada. I understand. Yes.
Yes,
Because of
and
the
Baba,
vibration. Because of the vibration. Yes.
yes. So if
Right.
vibration is not good, you must be away.
Where? Yeah. That is a
I
different.
think I have a different take on that. I think Baba wanted to bless this Margi where he went to stay finally.
Yeah, possible. Yes.
That was not hating the hotel.
Yeah.
Baba was choosing one of the two, and then Baba decided that if I stay with this Margi who is not strict and who is this, he will be transformed, and that's what happened. So
Yeah, that looks more logical.
Baba has many, with one, stone he kills so many birds.
Yeah.
Multilateral,
So one thing is very
approach.
clear that our approach should be psychological. Acharya Parasji, Mitu Didi, I think we don't have time.
Dada, can I relate one incident
Yes,
for
Dada, yes,
2 minutes?
This is a lot of discussion.
Agrawalji.
Dada, hello. There's a lot of
Yes.
Dada. Actually, I would like to relate one incident long back when Baba was here in Patna, and which is related to it. It was when Baba used to stay in Patliputra. He used to go for the morning and evening walk at the airport. So on that particular day, when he was in the evening walk, I remember Mangal Bihari ji, my father L.P. Agrawal, myself, and Dadan ji, and 2, 3 more Margis were there. So Baba started telling about ideology. He said how the ideology of Anand Marg will be implemented. So that was a very interesting topic, and Baba spoke for 15 minutes on this topic. So Baba said, you know that ideology can never be implemented by lectures, shouting slogans, holding seminars, symposiums. It cannot be implemented in this way. He gave an example. You know, the extremist Pathans of Afghanistan were made to sing and dance and chant the name of Sri Hari, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made them do this. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made these extremist Pathans dance and sing the name of Sri Hari? So, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had embodied ideology within himself, and those Pathans were so much inspired by the personality of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that they all sang and danced the Sri Hari Kirtan. So, unless this ideology, the Anand Marg ideology, is embodied within our children,
very good point.
Nobody, this will not create impact in the society. So the first thing what Dada said is this, Vimlanand Dadaji said, that we should not hate anybody. We should not demean anybody. When we go and approach somebody and we say that we are the superiors, nobody is going to listen to us. They will say, yes, I am the superior. Why you are the superior? We have such an ideology. So unless and until you embody within yourself the ideology of Anand Marg, you cannot preach the gospel of Anand Marg here and there in the society.
Very good, Dada. Thank
I am
you.
reminded. I am taking much time, Dada.
No.
I am reminded of one thing more, how the things are embodied. I would like to take the example of Vivekanand. Vivekanand, when he went on the mic and started speaking, so what he did, the very first thing, he took the name of his guru and he uttered the very first word, brothers and sisters. That brothers and sisters, because he was just a medium. Vivekanand was just a medium, and Ramakrishna Paramahansa was saying the Vedanta philosophy through him. The brothers and sisters were charged with a cosmic flow which has touched the minds of everybody, which has touched the hearts of everybody, and everybody clapped for minutes and minutes together. So the first thing is that when a little girl, I would like to give a small story on this. A small girl was in a habit of eating sugar. So the parents of that small girl was very much worried that why she eats so much sugar. So they took to that girl to a saint and they complained that this girl is in a habit of eating sugar. So you please tell something because we have failed in making her not to eat sugar. The saint said, you come after 10 days, then I'll tell her that you don't eat sugar. And when after 10 days, that girl went to the saint and he very lovingly said, my dear child, don't take sugar because there are such and such harm in taking sugar. And that girl stopped. The parents were astonished. Why this girl stopped the sugar? They again went to the saint and said, we used to tell this thing every day, and you said one day and she stopped taking sugar. He said, yes, because the day when you had come, I was myself in a habit of taking sugar, so I didn't have the moral of teaching her not to take sugar.
Has it impact?
So Dada, the impact in the society, as you said, the topic of today is very important. How could the impact be created in the society? The impact can only be created in the society when we are embodied in ideology.
Yes.
When we are ourselves embodied in the ideology of Anand Marg, automatically the impact will come in the society. We don't have to exert much for that. That's all what I want to say.
Thank you. Acharya Parasji, if you can summarize quickly because we are running late in time. Acharya Parasnath.
Are you interested in?
Dada ji, namaskar to all. Dada, I'll tell just one story with Baba because this is very right time to highlight here. Once we got a message that Baba is coming, Baba is going somewhere. He was going out. His train is going to stop for 5 minutes here in Jamshedpur station, Tata station. So we all Margis of Jamshedpur, we went there with garland, sweets and everything. And then we went inside the train. And उसमें अलग से कोई नहीं था, सब सीटिंग वाला ही था, वो करके सब हम लोग करके खड़ी में सब लोग उतरने लगे. हम थोड़ा वेट कर रहे थे, देखे एक आदमी सिगरेट पी रहा है बाबा के 2-3 सीट के बगल में. तो हम सोचे कि ठीक है ट्रेन चल भी देगी, हम अगले स्टेशन में उतर जाएंगे. हम गए, उस आदमी से रिक्वेस्ट किया कि भाई साहब आप पीना है थोड़ा बाहर में पियेंगे, यहाँ बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग जा रहे हैं जो नहीं पी सकते हैं. गुरु हम बताए उसको, वो तुरंत बंद किया. जब हम जाने लगे तो बाबा हमको बुलाए, बोले पारस इधर सुनो. तो बोले कि देखो वो हंस रहे हैं, देखो उसको तकलीफ होगा नहीं पिएगा तो. हरी बाबा होल माई बॉडी गिव्स रिस्पॉन्स की, देखियो कितना केयर कर रहे हैं बाबा. तो इसलिए हम लोग को एडजस्टमेंट करके, लेकिन ये नहीं मतलब कि नहीं बोले, बोलना है. बट बाबा ने मुस्कुराते हुए बोला कि उसको भी तकलीफ लगेगी. it
Right.
indicates that how he used to take care of everything.
Yeah, yeah, Dada.
So
Thank
this
you.
is-
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Acharya ji. Thank you.
It's a very good
So-
example, Dada. And
Very good. Yeah.
Baba has been the embodiment, there is no doubt, and he rightly, Dada says, Elkar Gawal, the embodiment of ideology. And I repeat in Baba's words, खुद को बनाने की साधना करो, दूसरों को भी बना सकोगे. So let us make ourselves the right instrument, right tool, so that he utilizes, and then only it is possible to change the society. So thank you very much. Namaskar. I think many of you wanted to speak. I'm sorry, I could not allow because of the time limit. So thank you very much for participating.
And we should do a minute of ideation before we
Yes,
close.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, please.
Parampita Baba ki jai.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Next Saturday, let us meet. Again, I'm sorry, many of you I could not give chance. Thank you.